All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it, man. When it comes to the Big 12 power rankings, we want to start at 5 and kind of work our way up.
Always, dude. You got to build up.
Got to build up the anticipation.
Yeah, so much anticipation.
Once again, folks, if you're watching this live, please jump in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on our rankings here. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear some feedback from you.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to go ahead and get kicked off with number 5, or do you want me to?
Yeah, absolutely. At number
you jump at
5,
5.
At number 5, I have the Arizona Wildcats.
Okay.
So I think Brett Brennan's done a fantastic job with this program. He turned them from 4 wins in his first season to 9 in the second. And he was just, this team was in a really similar position to Utah at the end of the season last year, where they were kind of hoping a couple teams lose. You know, they had a chance to kind of make it into the Big 12 championship. They had a path there. I think they're at the top end of the conference because they still have Noah Fafita, who's sensational. He's in his senior season. And he's really just been incredible his whole time at Arizona. And I really love that he's kind of chosen to stay. There's been some head coaching changes, and he's just kind of stayed steady through the program. I think he can easily lead them to the top end of the conference.
I like it, man. I like it. It's funny that you mentioned that, how they're in a similar situation to University of Utah. Because believe it or not, I've got the University of Utah ranked as my 5th school.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's hear it.
So they are 11-2 last year, 11-2 overall with the 7-2 conference play last year. The reason why they have them number 5 is actually they were going to be much higher, and it's going to be funny because you're going to laugh at where they were going to be. But we do need to expect some fall off from this, right? You're losing your head coach of 2 decades practically.
Yeah.
And then, you have a new offensive coordinator coming in, a new defensive coordinator coming in. Sure, you're keeping a lot of your talent from your team, but your whole offensive line is gone. You got to replenish that. And you are keeping your star quarterback in Devin Dampier. But this is why I don't have them falling completely off. This is not a negative. This is a positive that I still have them in my top 5.
Yeah.
This conference is actually going to be growing. I actually see this conference actually getting more than just their conference champion in the college football playoff this year.
Yeah.
There's so much more talent in this conference this year than last year that I just think even being in the top 5 is going to be a pretty decent
that's an accomplishment for sure.
There are going to be some fall off, so I do expect some things to change for the University of Utah. But if there is one man that you would expect to not have a drop off, right? We go from what I like to call the big headset, right? We take the big headset away from Kyle Whittingham, right? We hand it to another man, right?
Yeah.
If there's a man in Utah football that is more Utah football than Coach Witt, it's Morgan Scalley.
Yep.
Morgan Scalley is the man. He's been on this team for the last 20 seasons, AJ.
Yep.
All-American defensive back in 2001 to 2004 as a player, and he's been on the coaching staff since 2007. He has been the defensive coordinator for 10 years, and for this reason, I'm expecting a strong season right out the gate from Morgan Scalley. Yeah, not even to mention the fact you still have Devin Dampier under center with Wayshawn Parker in the backfield. I still expect Utah to have a great season, but I do see them dropping off from what we basically were tied for number 3 previous year. I do see some drop-offs. That's why I have them number 5.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Why don't you go into 4?
Number 4, I have Houston.
Excellent. So to break the ice on this one, I also have Houston at number 4. So you can go into yours. Okay. I'll follow up with mine.
Okay. Fair enough. So Houston is, that's why I think you're going to laugh about the Utah-Arizona comparison. So Houston, they were 9-4 overall last year, 6-3 in conference, building through the portal, man, is exactly what this team is doing. We talked about a little bit in our pre-show chat there. The complete overhaul of the O-line with, Anthony Boswell. It's Shadray Hurst. Shadray Hurst? Shadray Hurst. I've heard it both ways. And also Hayden Wright on the O-line there. You also have Trent Walker at the wide receiver and Mekhi Hughes as a running back. All these are additions from the portal on the offensive side of the ball, which is definitely a revamp for sure. Defensively, you also have Ashton Parker as an edge rusher, Jaden Yates as a linebacker, and Javon White at the secondary. So you're talking about a lot of players that coming from a lot of great programs, both in the Big 12, in the Big 10. I believe there's a couple SEC Or is it ACC transfers? Anyway, they pulled in a lot of talent, and they're kind of going the Texas Tech route on this one.
Yeah.
We're trying to throw a lot of money to a lot of players. Reason why I have them fourth is that doesn't always work for every school. You know, it's not something you can't be the Golden State Warriors if you don't have Steph.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you got to have Steph, and Houston has to prove it to me that they can completely reload. I know they were 9-4 overall last year, and they had, they were in like that huddle of that third to fourth place in the rankings. So I expect them to hold steady at where they were, and that's why I got them at number 4.
I totally agree. I think that Willie Fritz, the head coach, he really started showing this team that they're capable of winning, and that's really important as a younger program. And then for them to lean into the transfer portal, I love the approach. Obviously, it worked for Texas Tech last season. That team went from bottom end of the conference to obviously the very top of the conference. I have before because they have some tough road games. I mean, they got Texas Tech on the road, Kansas State on the road, Utah on the road. The rest of their schedule is pretty easy though. So I mean, they could easily hit 10 wins this season and be in really good shape that way. You get 10 wins, you're going to be competing for, you have a chance to compete for a conference championship. So I like this Houston Cougars team. The running back addition of Mekhi Hughes is big time. He's going to help this team right out the gate. I like Houston at 4.
Yeah, I agree. I like them at 4. I don't know if they get to 10 wins though. I think they hold steady at 9-4.
Yeah. That's a tough road schedule too.
Yeah.
And then I think they play Texas Tech in like their third game. It's like they have 2 non-conference and then they play Texas Tech and then they have another non-conference game. So it's like, that's just a really, you can lose momentum really quick by playing a team as good as Texas Tech and that much talent on the field. I'll be interested to see.
Yeah. That was my deciding factor on strength of schedule between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was sitting on that one too.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go to number 3?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So number 3, I have Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
So I can take a guess what your number 3 is. Anyway, so they are 9-4 overall with 6-3 in conference play last year. They do have their star quarterback in Noah Fafita, like you mentioned before. He had over 3,200 yards, 3,200 yards total yards last year, 29 touchdowns, tied for 9th in the country, by the way, last year.
Yeah.
QBR ranking of a 71.2 back in for his final year of eligibility. And like you mentioned it, man, Coach Brennan really is building around this guy, and he has improved year over year. First year was 4-win team. Now flipped the standings there and made it a 9-win team. And I only see him being able to, even though the conference I think has gotten stronger, I don't think that's going to adhere his development, not only as a head coach, but able to really build around the star quarterback that he has in Fafita. So that's why I got them sitting at number 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it. That was really tough for me because I do think Arizona's a really good football team. So I agree with you. At number 3, I have the BYU Cougars.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Hear me out. Okay. LJ Martin, Bear Bachmeier, both back. You expect him to continue to roll on offense. You bring back Isaiah Glasker on defense. Follow to us, Satualua. Can't say it.
Yeah.
Satualua. Yeah. Those couple guys are going to help, anchor this always impressive Kalani Sitake defense. They are without Jay Hill, so there is some changes for BYU. Losing your defensive coordinator could hurt BYU in this scenario. I think you got Kalani Sitake, who's kind of built their base, but they are without their leading wide receiver in Parker Kingston, he was supposed to be one of their big offensive weapons. Now you can lean on LJ Martin. I think is a fantastic back that's going to produce a ton of yards this year. And Bear Bachmeier, I don't know how he does it, but the dude wins games.
Yeah, we spent the first half of the year wondering if we kept talking about that with BYU.
Yeah,
is this team
you
for
just
real?
didn't know. Yeah.
Is this team for real, or are they just they're just finding ways to win? And I think that's just part of their.
And it was all Bear Bachmeier too. Like you watch it in some of these games, he just at the end you didn't think that they had a chance, and all of a sudden he'd pull out and make a great play and get a first down and throw a touchdown. And very, very, very impressed. I mean, the team's been sneaky good. I think Kalani Sitake has like the 3rd most wins of any head coach in the last 4 or 5 seasons. And in the past 2 seasons, they're 23-4 with 2 of those losses coming to Texas Tech last year. So this is a good football team, man. This is a really good football team.
Yeah. And that's why I have them ranked 2nd.
I totally understand that.
BYU is 12-2 overall last year with an 8-1 conference last year. This is, to me, man, this is the best team that Kalani Sitake has had, full stop.
Yeah.
In the last 2 seasons, they are 23-4, with 2 of, like you mentioned, both of their losses last year coming to the same team, Texas Tech, and you cannot fault them for that. Running back LJ Marking is at the top. Is one of the top rushers in the nation on this team. Like you mentioned, Bear Buckmeyer, should be improving in year 2 over what he already did last year. They also have Isaiah Glasker at linebacker and Keanu Tenuvasa at defensive tackle.
He's the Utah transfer.
Yeah, but I think that, I still, Utah guy, I think it's going to do.
I agree.
I think he's going to have a breakout year for Utah,
I agree.
for BYU. Basically, man, the way you put it, man, this team, they had some losses. They lost their defensive coordinator and they, technically lost one of their star players. But that happened the year before too.
Absolutely. And they still showed up.
They still showed up and they still were in the conference title game. So this is the type of team that even though they lose a star player, it's next man up mentality down there for Kalani Sitake. And I don't think that they're going to let, this change anything.
Yeah.
I think this team's going to continue. And this team is very, very much title game or bust. It's either A, they're in the title game, or B, they're in the CFP, or it's a busted season for them.
Yeah.
I think that's why I have BYU ranked second.
I agree. I'm going to go with Utah.
Gee, I wonder why.
At 2. I just think you got Morgan Scalley, obviously taking on the big headset. Okay. He's, I think it's really important to watch the offensive style that Morgan Scalley had. You still had the same head coach or the same offensive coordinator under Jason Beck at that bowl game. But if you pay attention, they threw the ball up the field a whole lot more. And I think this is going to help push Devin Dampier to the next level. Because for Devin Dampier to be successful, he's got to be able to get the ball up the field. If there's no down the field threats, his elite ability to scramble and get out of the pocket and make plays with his legs don't do you any good because they're just going to sit on it.
Right.
So it's going to help Devin Dampier a whole ton. A whole ton. That is a strange word. This offensive line has a ton of young talent. And I think that Jordan Gross is the guy to help continue the legacy of great offensive linemen at the University of Utah. We got some really good guys coming in. I mean, the biggest one in Kelvin Obot, the first 5-star for Utah. We all know about him.
That's huge.
But we also got like Isaiah Garcia, who was, I think he's a 4-star recruit out of Utah. And I think he redshirted last year because obviously we had a ton of offensive talent last year. But the gigantic thing for Utah, and the reason that I have them at 2 rather than 3, is Devin Dampier. And you can just see that he has a really focused, he's really focused on his ability to throw a really good, accurate ball. And he improved his accuracy so much and kept the ball out of harm's way last year. And I mean, obviously he's naturally crafty, right? I mean, he's going to have moments where the O-line's going to slip up and he kind of erases a lot of that stuff because he's so good in the pocket. The defense is always going to be good. And I mean, I think it's important. I mean, back on Devin Dampier, his improvement, it was noticeable in every single game. Like you saw him get better every single game. I mean, to the point where even like my wife made the comment to me, like watching him throw the ball on the sidelines before some of these games, you're just like, he looks better than he did last game. Like these balls they're more on the dot. They're right where they need to be. He's making better reads. So the defense is going to be good. And Utah was in a lot of blowout wins last year where I think some of these young defensive players got moments where it's going to really help them. It really helped them probably develop in this future, in this next season. And we got to see some of those future players play. And I don't know, Utah too. Go Utes.
No surprise that the season ticket holder is for the Utes is putting the Utes at 2. There's no homer bias there at all.
Not at all.
Okay. Love it, man. I absolutely love it. I agree when it comes a lot to what you said about University of Utah and how I feel that I just can't, there's got to be some drop off from this changeover. I can't see them performing better this year than with this conference being the way it is. So that's kind of that's my argument there.
So I thought the same thing, but when we had a changeover of offensive coordinator, we were really worried about, Jason Beck.
That's a fair point. Well, honestly, I think Jason Beck was that was great pickup for that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I'd love to be proven wrong on this one and see them be all the way up at number 2 for sure. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into number 1. I'm going to start with Texas Tech. I'll jump into that.
Yeah.
One of the greatest 90s movies of all time was Money Talks, Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker.
Yep.
Have you ever seen it? If you haven't seen it, if you know, you know. One of the greatest movies of all time, and it's also true in college football. After spending spree of last year, they cruised through the conference by winning 8 of their 9 games by multiple possessions. They had the best defense in Big 12 history last year, according to defensive rankings. Quarterback Brendan Sorsby is the top-rated transfer that should be ready to go for the revamped offense. Returning key contributors is going to be the linebacker John Curry and Ben Roberts. We shouldn't see much slip up from this team at all.
Yeah. So I think my biggest concern with Texas Tech is going to be Brendan Sorsby. I watched him play at Cincinnati. Okay. I don't know if he was all that great. I understand he was the top rated portal quarterback.
Right. Which doesn't always necessarily mean.
And Cincinnati looked great in the first part of the year until they got to where? The University of Utah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's
and Utah ran him out of that stadium.
Yeah. It's like
Brendan Sorsby looked horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the best player available on a bad draft. You're like
exactly. And I understand that they obviously had to go in and get a quarterback because they lost theirs. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if Brendan Sorsby was the guy that does he throw a good ball? Sometimes, yeah, he does. But if you can get pressure into the backfield, he does not play well under pressure. He didn't make great reads. I mean, the Utes defense, as good as they are, made him look really bad in the game when Cincinnati was here.
Yes.
If you're going to make me choose between Devin Dampier and Brendan Sorsby, I'm taking Dampier every day.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one for sure. If Dampier entered the portal and didn't go straight to Michigan, I think he would have been the top quarterback available.
Absolutely.
In the portal. The only thing I have to say about that is I just think that Texas Tech has a lot better offensive options for Sorsby than what Cincinnati was offering. So to me, I think he's going to perform a little bit better. He's going to slide right in a little bit easier. That's just my only thing why I think it's kind of more like a turnkey type thing for him. But yeah, I could definitely see your concern there for sure. You still haven't taken the conference though?
I don't know. I think Texas Tech.
Well, are they not ranked number 1 for you?
They're ranked number 1 for sure.
Okay.
I mean, and that's the thing is they won the conference last year by a landslide. You know what I mean? They beat the second best team in the conference twice.
Yes.
So when you're at the top, you're at the top until someone proves that you're not at the top. So let's see how the season goes. I'm excited, man. I think this could be another great season for Texas Tech for sure.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with you, man. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Please feel free to roast us on our picks there on where we at.
I'm sure it's coming.
It's going to come, man.
Yeah.
It definitely is. We do have a comment we want to hit up here. We have one from Aaron here. Let me go ahead and jump this one, throw this one up on the screen here. I feel like this will be a stand-up or stand-out year for Utah.
Stand-up and stand-out
Stand-up and stand-out year for Utah. Love it. I have to agree with you, man. Like when it comes to the University of Utah, I think that this team, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that we need to see like where this team's identity is. But the more and more I realize, Maureen Scally has been here as long as, anybody in college football. I think this team already has an identity. It's just whether or not the players will buy into this team's identity going forward, in my opinion.
And I don't know if they're going to have as much of that issue because of the guy Morgan Scally is and because who he's been to this program. I think this transition will be more seamless than a lot of people are thinking. And it's a really exciting year for Utah.
Agreed. Once again, folks, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to the Big 12 power rankings. We want to hear from you. All right, so before we move on from the University of Utah, believe it or not, man, I've got some good news for the University of Utah football fans.
Hell yeah, you do.
I've got some good news. Congratulations, folks. Congratulations. You now have the chance to cheer for a team that isn't the best team in the state. This isn't something that you can say over the past 23 years or so. So if you're a young buck, you're younger than us, especially younger than me, there hasn't been a time where Utah hasn't been the dominant team in the state.
Yeah.
Over the past 25 years, approximately 2001 all the way up to 2025, the University of Utah has been pretty much dominating their rival the whole time against BYU, winning roughly 15 out of the 23 matchups they've played together over this period. Utah has made a significant stranglehold over the rivalry with winning 9 straight from 2010 to 2018.
Yeah.
Though BYU has won the most recent matchups in 2021, 2024, and 2025. The reason why I want to bring this up is this rivalry has very much been a pendulum swing, right? Utah has dominated the Holy War, going from, if you go back all the way, let's go back to 1896.
Yeah.
Okay. And all the way from 1896 to 1971, Utah has dominated this rivalry. Then you go for the next 20 years, BYU showed a nice 20-year run where they loosely run most of those 2 decades, only losing twice in 20 years in the 70s and 80s. Then there's some back and forth over the next couple of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then starting in 2020, then starting in 2002, all the way up to 2021, Utah's maintained control. Sure, Utah's a 2-time Pac-12 championship of the year, right? They won 2 Pac-12 titles as well as a WAC title, I guess is what it's called, Western Conference Championship. I can't remember which one. Nobody even cares about that one. And they were also in the only team to be a top 5 ranked team in the country this century. The University of Utah has. But Utah has taken a step back. They've lost 3 straight to the Cougars. BYU has had the head coach courted by a Big 12 program, and he stayed.
Big 10 program.
What did I say?
Big 12. But
I looked
yeah,
right at
Big
10.
10, Penn State, yeah.
Yeah. So BYU had their head coach courted by a Big 10 team,
Yeah.
and he stayed.
Yeah.
Utah lost theirs as soon as the same offer came calling. BYU has made it to the Big 12 title game last year, and we're 1 win away, AJ, 1 win away from the CFP. So are we getting some 80s nostalgia here? Is the pendulum swinging back towards BYU, and we're going to see a BYU run going for another decade or so? Or is this just a little blip on the road for the boys up on the hill? I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna lean more towards blip in the road.
Well, because you're picking them second in the conference this year.
That's correct. That's correct. I feel like the Utes have been, just this last year, they were 1 to 2 plays. Actually 2 years in a row, 1 to 2 plays away from beating BYU in both of those games. And yes, they lost them. Absolutely. But in one of those games, there was a questionable call. In the other game, there was a series of 4th down calls that shouldn't have cost us field goals, but we decided to go for them, and an always competitive rivalry game.
Field goals matter.
But yeah. And
Quote from a donor.
It's huge, man. And I think that you look at Utah and the team that they continue to produce this season will tell all as far as whether the pendulum is swinging. Morgan Scalley, if Utah has a really bad year and with a first-year head coach, it could really hurt their ability to get transfer players. It could hurt their ability to sign players out of high school. When you're successful, you can keep being successful because players want to come play for you. Players don't know what Morgan Scalley is capable of. We as Utah fans don't know what Morgan Scalley is capable of. And when we find out, it's going to tell the whole tale of which way is this rivalry going to go for the next 4 to 5 years. We know Kalani Sitake's a very talented head coach. We know they get talent at BYU. There's big recruiting differences between these two schools. You don't even recruit the same types of players most of the time. Like you're getting guys that are, and it's because, you got some honor code stuff at BYU where I think that does change some of the things where it's like, if you're going to be 30 miles away from each other, both these teams are competing for a Big 12 title. I don't know. I think there's some of that stuff that's going to, sway a player here and sway a player there. But I think that, I'm leaning more towards a blip. I think I could see Utah come around, but like I said, it's going to be really telling here in this next season will tell a lot.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I think you're going to be spot on that one with this next season being a lot, because if you look over the history of the rivalry, by the way, really interesting. If you get a chance to study a Wikipedia page, the Holy War is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's a pain in the butt to fact check that. You got to go. You always got to fact check Wikipedia. But
Absolutely.
Going over that sort of.
It's real easy to update Wikipedia as just anybody.
Yeah. So, oh, man, that was fun. That was a lot of research, a lot of clicking back and forth on 2 different spreadsheets to make sure I got it right. But you'll see quite a few times that when the other takes over and the pendulum swings, it's not the third in a row. It's there's been 3 in a row, but there's usually 1 and then a loss and then 2 wins and then the 1. So we've seen 3 wins steadily with that 1 year between the 2 being a gap year where these teams didn't play. So I would assume that one would be the swing one. So if you look historically over this team, over this franchise, and I know completely different players, completely different coaching, not the same. Look at the games, man. There's a pattern.
Yeah.
There's a pattern of dominance going back and forth over the last 50, 60 years. I say that this year is going to decide whether or not which way that pendulum swings.
Yeah.
And it's not just a blip. It could be a swing, but this year is the year, my friend, that's going to decide whether or not this is just a blip on the radar, or we can look forward to BYU being the dominant program in Utah for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. I don't want that to happen. I really don't. I can't.
This is Utah football DNA, man. I know I'm wearing blue right now, but that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, this is Utah football DNA for a reason. And,
exactly.
And I think we've got some really good young players coming up, and I think we've got a good chance. I like Morgan Scally. I like what he's doing. I like the coaches he brought in. Go Utes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. We want to hear from you. Do you think this is just a blip on the radar of BYU just kind of taking it to the University of Utah over the last couple of years and kind of asserting themselves as the more predominant school in the state? Or, is it just going to be a
maybe it's
thing?
Utah State?
Yeah, it's not happening.
They're Pac-12 now.
Sure. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Yeah, we want to hear from you. A few of the comments here we want to hit real quick is Aaron did say, "Oh yeah, and go Big Blue." Yeah, so
Michigan fans, man.
Let us know, dude. Let us know. What's your confidence going in to this spring season with Coach Witt?
Coach Witt under the big headset.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm gonna get you like a gigantic headset. Like just a big, we're talking massive.
There's already too much crap in this office. Sorry,
too much crap
in the studio. When we go to the Big Ten, we won't matter, and
we won't have to worry about BYU anymore.
Very fair point.
It's a great point, Greg.
Great point,
Great
Greg.
point.
I like it. I like where his head's at on there. As you mentioned, we talked about it several times on this channel about how this is just an audition period for the next phase of college football.
The next phases of college football are really what's important.
Yeah, the next 5 years from the time that BYU entered the Big-12 till maybe two or three more years is going to decide the next stage of the college football. And trust me, you want to be on the inside, looking out, not the other way around.
Yep.
So these are definitely audition years for both schools for sure. Love that we got also a comment here. Not just a blip on the road from Aaron. Absolutely.
Who's a Michigan fan? See, these guys know.
See, yeah. Sure. Well, they know how to recruit a head coach. That's for sure.
Good point. Good point. Sad, but good.
Penn State, man, what are you doing?